look, this lady has become a Muslim, and when she became a Muslim, she must have been aware of the Prophet of Islam and his last sermon. In his last sermon, and I'd like to remind her and remind your viewers that in the last sermon of Prophet Muhammad, and we like to say peace be upon him, hundreds of thousands of people turned up, and the Prophet of Islam knew that he had not too long with these people. He just had that feeling. And as he spoke to those people, he said that there is no difference between a white man and a black man. There is no difference between the old and the young, the rich or the poor, the Arab or the non-Arab. And most importantly, there's no difference between the black and the white. We are all one. The only real genuine difference between us is our actions. You as a white man, and many of your viewers as white people, if they were to go and kill 1 billion people, and if I was to go and save 1 billion people, what's the real difference between us? The color of our skin? No, it's the actions that separate us. And this new convert, Shahada O'Connor, she came into Islam, and she has to understand that at this time we don't need another Muslim. We need an exceptional human being who will strive towards good, and instead of taking people apart, needs to bring
absolutely
the races
well
together.
said. And I don't wish to pick on her. I mean, I'm picking holes in what she said because I think it needs to be done. I would love
well,
to.
I hope you can have her on your
She's a
channel
woman
very
who
soon.
has suffered a lot. Religious people treated her badly, people from her own religion, and she has embraced a new one, and I wish her well with it.
And the irony is, she hasn't really embraced a new one. She's just embraced the same one, but with a different understanding.
Okay.
It's one faith coming along.
Can I hit you with a sucker punch and debate something we haven't prepared?
Please do.
Because you've just
Sure.
reminded me, and it segues into it. Yeah, Sinead O'Connor was brought up as Catholic and left the Catholic Church and was very angry towards the Catholic Church. She ripped up a picture of the Pope, and she objected to, well, she spoke out against the abuse in the Catholic Church, and she objected to the forbidding of women from being priests, and she's now become Muslim. If years down the line Shahada O'Connor doesn't want to be Muslim anymore and she wants to leave Islam just as she left the Catholic Church, how easy will that be for her? Or how difficult? What I'm getting at is, well, you know what I'm getting at. Apostasy in Islam, which has come up with the Bibi case in Pakistan. If Sinead O'Connor publicly denounced Islam, would she have death threats?
If I stopped doing stand-up comedy, would I have death threats?
I'd be disappointed.
If I continued,
but I wouldn't threaten to kill you.
Well, it depends on what I would say. Well, you certainly wouldn't, but many others may. Well, in my jokes, it depends on what I will continue to say about the Pope and the imams.
So your point is, if you offend people, they will react, whether it's through comedy or through leaving your religion.
I can't answer the question whether she would have death threats or not, because she might be having death threats right now.
I'm just trying to give you worst case scenario along with a bit of sensationalism.
No, I appreciate that, but no. Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. I will say regarding Bibi, she was acquitted, and as far as I'm concerned, she's completely innocent. The people who accused her of saying those I guess terrible things to the Prophet of Islam were people who had some type of vendetta against her, and the case has been taken to the Supreme Court. and they have simply said that we just don't have tangible evidence to keep her in prison, and they have freed her. So there's nothing really more that anyone can say. Now, the reaction of the Pakistani people, that's entirely up to them. They can, some can celebrate, some can dance, some can go off and join the Taliban or do whatever they like. That's not controllable by Imran Khan.
And I think Imran Khan is a force for good in Pakistan. And of course, I have his. Oh, here we go. I am supporting his party from behind me. Yeah,
glad to hear
it. How does it make you feel when someone like Asia Bibi gets death threats from people in Pakistan? Because when Sinead O'Connor left Catholicism, and I could be wrong about this, I don't think she received any death threats. I could well be wrong, and I'll research that.
I believe you are wrong, because in this world, death threats is a normal way of life. As you know, that I, as an ordinary comedian, have had threats of that nature. So I can't really respond to somebody having death threats, because unfortunately it's just the way life is nowadays. But what I will say regarding apostasy and regarding Sinead O'Connor leaving Islam, as far as I'm concerned, if we were to research the time when this law was brought into place, the Prophet of Islam would do good work, and just like all over Africa, when the good people of Africa, when they were sick and tired of colonization, they would come round and say that this is wrong what they are doing to us. When they would go into India, when the good Indian people would go to others and say to them, look, this is injustice, millions of us will die, and millions of them did die. If, as they would say, if they don't do what they are meant to and stand up against injustice. When in Arabia, thousands of people were converting to Islam, and there were a few who would just come along in the morning, they would come and convert to Islam, and by the evening they would leave Islam. And in that 24-hour period, they would cause hell. They would put all types of different thoughts into the minds of the good Muslim people, and then many a time that would lead to wars, and that would lead to so many other problems. People were at risk, people were dying, people did die because of the actions of some who converted to Islam in the morning and gave up Islam in the evening and went back to what they believed in the next day. So the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, that's it. Anyone who comes into Islam cannot leave. If they leave as a threat, he said, as a deterrent rather, said they cannot be in Islam, and they will be charged for all the problems that they have caused. So it was a case.
What about someone born into Islam? And decides to leave. If
somebody is born into Islam, if they decide to leave, then I say to them, be good human beings. You don't have to be Muslim. If you don't like the way Islam is today, instead of being that change, like Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in this world.
Your take on the apostasy law is that it was for a time when infiltrators were posing as Muslims and causing havoc for the Muslims and then leaving. Is that your...
Absolutely. If there is no compulsion in the faith, you cannot keep people in the faith. If you are too dumb, if you are too stupid, if you are too thick, and if you don't want to give any time to the Quran, if you just want to have a name like Muhammad Omar or Muhammad Sufyan or some Abdul Jabbar, if you just want to have that name and you don't give 1 second to Islam, then by all means, it's a free door, go ahead and do whatever you like. But my advice to you would be research, because it's not fair to blame Islam for the actions of some. And perhaps in some cases, the actions which were really reactions.
So when would the death penalty for blasphemy be justified? And then we'll move it on. Just Just answer that one if you can.
For me, when you cause any injustice on anyone, if you go around, and it
Oh,
depends
sorry,
on
I
the
didn't mean
severity
blasphemy. I
of
meant apostasy.
the
Did I say
injustice.
blasphemy? But is she accused of
Yeah.
blasphemy or apostasy?
Asia Bibi is
Okay,
accused
so it's
of,
not the fact that she
blasphemy.
left Islam, which is apostasy.
No, she
Okay.
I believe she was a Christian.
I thought perhaps it was someone else who was a Christian who became Muslim and then reverted back to being a Christian, if reverted is the word. Okay.
No.
She was just
No,
a
Asia Bibi was...
person who insulted the Prophet.
Well, allegedly
Okay.
insulted the Prophet. It was, so now it's been proven that she didn't, and under duress she was forced
Okay.
to make the confession. So this is an innocent human being, and it's not fair for those people. But I understand they're working class. I understand they're very poor people living out there, and nobody has come along and
Okay.
said, "Don't say this. It's not right. Don't accuse her. Whatever your issue is, it's a big thing. Just don't do this." And people take their religion very seriously.
Yes, absolutely.